Welcome back to a new post today. And today is the day when Uttarakhand became the first state of India to bring into reality the Article 44 of the Indian Constitution, which speaks about a uniform civil code. That's a common law with regard to marriage, divorce, inheritance of property, etc. So it calls for a uniform civil code all across India, and Uttarakhand now has become the first state to have a law on uniform civil code law in that very state for its citizens. And this assent was given by the President Draupadi Murmu under Article 201. It deals with the inheritance, marriage, live-in relationship, divorce, etc. And let's see some of the important special features, because this has been election promise of the political parties, and also many states are now waiting to bring in the a uniform civil code in the very state. But let me tell you that Article 44 speaks about a uniform civil code throughout the country, but not a different uniform civil code for every state. And this is where actually the problem lies. And also there are certain things which are of personal or privacy issues. The uniform civil code intrudes into them. And let's see first of all what are the important characteristic features of this uniform civil code. So President Draupadi Murmu had given an assent to the bill of the uniform civil code, and now it's going on to become a law. This bill governs practices like polygamy, alala, talaq, and ensures property rights and equal marriageable age, and also equal inheritance rights as well. So the assent was given under Article 201, and Uttarakhand now will become the first state and also the first legislature in independent India to pass a law that proposes common rules on marriage, divorce, inheritance of property, live-in relationship with citizens irrespective of their religion. And this uniform civil code, I told you, stems from Article 44 of the Directive Principles of State Policy. Although they are not enforceable, but it obligates the state to strive to implement a uniform civil code throughout the country. Now, this was one of the bold promises of the BJP during the election period in Uttarakhand in 2022 as well. And the bill has the bill which is going to become an act has almost 392 sections with 7 schedules, and a long 750 page draft spread across 4 volumes, and that was prepared by an expert committee headed by Ranjana Prakash Desai and submitted to the state cabinet. So who will the uniform civil code of Uttarakhand be applicable to? It will be applicable to all the residents of the Uttarakhand state except the tribal community, which constitutes 2.9% of the state's population. So it is not applicable to them, and they can practice their own customs with regard to these issues or these areas of life. Now, what does it say about? So it has provisions with regard to live-in relationship. It imposes an obligation on all the heterosexual couples, whether they are residents of Uttarakhand or not, irrespective, to register their live-in relationship by submitting a statement to the registrar. And if such a relationship is even if such a relationship is terminated, the registrar has to be informed of this. And in case if either of the partners is less than 21 years of age, the declaration will have to be given by their parents or their guardians. Notably, a woman can claim maintenance now in case she is deserted by a live-in partner. In case the couple has spent more than 6 months without registering the relationship, they can attract a penalty and also a jail term as well. It also abolishes the concept of illegitimate children by expanding the legal recognition of children to born out of avoidable marriages, and also children born in live-in relation as well. So it has some important provisions with regard to bigamy and polygamy. One of the conditions stipulated under Section 4 for a valid marriage is that neither party should have a spouse living at that time of the marriage, and thus prohibits practices like bigamy and polygamy. The minimum age of marriage will be same. It is 21 for boys and 18 for girls. It mentions about divorce proceedings. So no marriage can be dissolved without the court order, or else it attracts an imprisonment of 3 years. Grounds for divorce includes religious conversion as well, and but not irretrievable breakdown of marriage, despite the latter being recognized in several Supreme Court judgments. Now, importantly, Section 28 prohibits the initiation of a divorce proceeding unless 1 year is elapsed since the date of marriage. Now, however, this exception within 1 year of filing of divorce can be made if the petitioner has suffered exceptional hardship, or if the respondent has exhibited exceptional depravity. Women can specifically seek divorce within 1 year of marriage in case if the husband has been guilty of rape or unnatural sexual offense, and if he has made more than one wife as well. Following a divorce, the custody of the child up to 5 years will be with the mother. And it also speaks about inheritance rights. A distinct feature of the bill, which is now going to become an act, is that it abolishes the co-parcenary system governing ancestry property under the Hindu Succession Act of 1956. Thus, the same scheme of succession will now apply to both ancestral and also self-acquired property by the Hindus. So, it also criminalizes certain Muslim practices like nikah halala, the iddat and the triple talaq have been criminalized without explicitly naming them. And certain specials are that it has a complete ban on polygamy, polyandry, halala, iddat, talaq, as both the men and women will have the same rights with relate to marriage and divorce. If a person is found committing halala, there is a provision for 3 years of imprisonment or a fine or 1 lakh both under the Uniform Civil Code of Uttarakhand. The bill now allows the marriages to be solemnized between only a man and a woman, and the age of the marriage has been set for 21 years for boys and 18 for girls. The UCC of Uttarakhand also made it mandatory to register marriage and divorce, failing which both the couples concerned will be deprived of all the benefits of the government facilities. In case the divorce or the domestic dispute between the husband and wife, the custody of the child up to 5 years will be that of the mother. The bill also has stringent provisions for the failure of registering of live-in relationship, which calls for imprisonment of 3 months and not exceeding 25,000 rupees or both. The child born in a live-in relationship will be considered as legitimate child of the couple under the UCC of Uttarakhand. In equal rights to property is given to both the sons and the daughters for all the classes. Also, no distinction has been made between legitimate and illegitimate children, adopted children, children born through surrogacy, and also children born through ART technology. Apart from that, after the death of the person, if the wife and the children are given equal rights and property along with the deceased parents. So these are some of the major points with regard to Uniform Civil Code of Uttarakhand. However, the mandatory registration of a live-in relationship is intrusive, and this is said by the political analysis, and also that there is a breach of the fundamental right to privacy, as well as it forces you to submit yourself to the state and on something which is very, very personal and intimate to you. Now Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat and also have appointed committees to initiate the formulation of UCC, and but this effectively defeats the purpose of Article 44, since the constitution framers did not intend to have a different UCC for every state but a common UCC for India on a whole. And this is how Uttarakhand now is going to become the first state in India to have the Uniform Civil Code being applicable and turning into a law after the assent given by President Draupadi Murmu. So if these points were really helpful to you all to understand the issue, you can like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to comment at the end of the video, and I shall see you in my next post. Until then, it's very happy learning.